NVIDIA's GeForce GTX 780 GPU has been out for quite some time, so we've seen plenty of retail, custom-designed graphics cards already out on the market. ASUS has a new one in the form of the GTX 780 Strix card, S-T-R-I-X. This is the OC edition. And what this does is it attempts to increase the cooling capability on the GTX 780 and also add a couple of unique features. First of all, this card has 6 gigs of frame buffer, which is twice as much as any other GTX 780 you're going to find in the market, or at least most other GTX 780s that you're going to find out in the market. When you look at the card, you can also tell that it's quite tall. You can see here at the side, the SLI connections are actually raised up considerably over the front of the graphics card. The cooler is on the ASUS DirectCU2 branding. It's actually a very, very good cooler. You've got your standard connection type here, 2 DVI, HDMI, and DisplayPort. They've done some nice things with the design here. It is an 8-pin plus 6-pin power connection. They have LED lights to let you know if you have the power connectors installed correctly or not. The fans are pretty large. It's a very, very quiet graphics card, and in fact, that's one of the biggest features that ASUS brought to this, is what they're trying to advertise as a silent gaming option. Anytime the GPU is under 65 degrees Celsius, these two fans will not spin, thus making it essentially a passive graphics card. When do you actually game in under 65 degrees Celsius, though? That's an interesting discussion. As it turns out, in my testing, not really in a whole lot of areas. If you're gaming on Battlefield 4, Metro Last Light, or even if you're gaming on, Unreal Tournament 2004 with everything default, the fans are going to come on. They may wait a little bit before they come on, but they're going to turn on. The way I was able to actually take advantage of that completely silent 0 dB cooling solution that ASUS is advertising is to enable the frame rate limiter in the EVGA Precision X software, for example, or even in the ASUS AI Suite or GPU Tweak software, if you will. If you enable a frame rate limiter, say in Dota 2 or Unreal Tournament 2004 to 60 or 80 frames per second, I was able to game pretty much the entire time without these fans actually kicking on. If you boot up anything else, you're going to have fans, and it's going to be kind of your normal DirectCU2 cooling capability there. It's very quiet still. It is able to keep the GPU basically at like 70 to 73 degrees Celsius, regardless of what you're gaming on, and that's actually pretty impressive. Another interesting thing about this card is that, as has kind of been the case for a while now, ASUS does not overclock this card very much out of the box. You're running at, I think, 889 megahertz base clock, which is just barely over the reference specifications. That does not mean there's not overclocking headroom, though. We were able to push this card well above its default settings. In fact, I was able to hit a plus 175 GPU offset, which basically means both the base and the boost frequencies were 175 megahertz faster than they were out of the box. That's a huge gain and actually resulted in tremendous real-world gaming performance benefits there. So if you are willing to tweak some software, which is actually really easy to do, we just turned our power target up to 110% and changed what our GPU offset was, and it all worked pretty easily out of the box. Anything above 175, we had some visual glitches or stability issues there, but at 175, we were able to game for at least a couple of hours looping on high-quality settings on Metro Last Light, so it was pretty impressive there. Pricing-wise, this is going to be on the high side for custom-designed GTX 780 graphics cards. You're looking at a $579 MSRP, which is $60 to $80 more expensive than your reference designs. Now, when you do get a better cooler out of this, you get that kind of quiet 0 dB feature that's only going to be useful in a certain select cases. If you play a lot of StarCraft 2, maybe you'll be able to play in a silent operation, but that's really only important to you if that's really a target for your gaming machine. Do you have a very, very quiet CPU cooler and case fan combination in there to complement the 0 dBA action of this graphics card, if you will? $80 is a little bit much to ask, I think, for the upgrade, but if you're looking for a high-end GTX 780, this is probably one of the better options. Make sure you have the size for it if you have a smaller case. It is quite a bit taller than your normal GTX 780 video card. But overall, from ASUS, a very, very good product. You can check out the full review at PCPer.com. We have all of our benchmarks and performance data if you want to see it, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.